sure that this is something we all struggle with because we're all men, and we all think we can fix something. So it's Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. It says, "Everything has its time." It was written by Solomon, and he was known for his great wisdom. So it's beneficial to listen to what he's got to say. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. This is something that we all go through different seasons and different times in our life when every single one of these is applied to you at least one time. What he's trying to convey here is everything is constantly changing, and I think we all get that because things change pretty often, but to understand that things are going to change regardless of what you try to do to either speed it up, slow it down, prevent it, it's going to happen. So in verse 2, let's talk about a time to be born, a time to die. It says, life starts and stops outside of our own power. Verse 3 is a time to kill and a time to heal. The cuts and the bruises that we suffer lead to healing and to knowledge. Verse 4 is a time to weep and a time to laugh, and a time to mourn and a time to dance. God honors our grief and our joy. He's right there with us through it all. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. So this is about, I believe it's relationships and how boundaries and how they change over time, and we'll get more into the depth of some of these here in a second, but verse 6 is a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away. It says, wisdom knows when to hold on and when to let go. A time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Timing is just as important as the words that we speak and when we speak them. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. A world full of sin brings chaos and friction, but God holds the final outcome of all of it. And it kind of had me stuck for a while because love is spoken about so much throughout the Bible, so that when you see hate, I mean, it kind of made me take a pause, like, well, what are we supposed to be hating? And the obvious thing that I came up with was sin, but it does get deeper than that, and it's, without going into extra examples, we're supposed to love and pray for the sinner, but hate the sin, and that can cover a broad spectrum that I don't want to really go into because of being probably on Facebook. But if you think about it, you probably get my drift. So when it comes to God's timing, what do we do about his time versus ours? Is remembering that his timing is always perfect, and understand that you're where you're at for a reason. That first song was about praying when you're on the mountain and also praying when the mountain's in the way. And our praise and our faith is our best way to get through his time. And Gerald was right. He said when, because I really wanted to speak on something else at first, and he's like, when it's time, you're going to speak on something that is really close, and it's in your heart. So I'm gonna give a few examples about God's time in my life, and it's a struggle, because that poser pops up. I'm a man's man. I think I can do it all, and I get reminded constantly that I need to just take a back seat and do my part on my end to do what I can. So it's been almost 6 years since I've seen my son, and I'm still on probation for another year and a half. I got here after doing 15 months, and I was mandated for 9. And when you get here, you get some clarity, you get some thoughts, and you get some vision, and all of a sudden we want to fix everything that we ever broke, and it don't work like that, man. Because we got to remember that even though we're sowing good seeds, there is still a bad harvest to reap. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes a while for those bad seeds to finally get out of the way to where all the good can start coming back in that you've been sowing into. And God's time, man, it strengthens your faith, your trust in him. It builds your endurance and your strength. When I'm done with probation here, I got some issues in Virginia, and this is where I don't judge anybody, because you don't know what the next man's going through, and that's why I'm always I believe this would help, because I know the backgrounds and I know where we're coming from. So, but if this is hitting home for anybody, just feel free to anytime you see me to talk about it. And I'll tell you the things that have been helping me. Is number one, man, God's timing is going to always be better than ours. Anytime we try to fix something, we mess it up. You stick your hand in the way, you try to get ahead of him, it just is not going to work. So it's been a tough battle being away that long, and I have a daughter I haven't met that's 5 years old. Her mom is in prison. She'll be out next December. And it's a tough pill to swallow, that it's very possible that the time that she's about to be out is the time that I may possibly be going to Virginia to handle my business. And I don't know what that looks like yet. I know God's got it. I know he's prepared me spiritually and mentally to go back into the lion's den. I ain't worried about no jail time. I've never had in my life, but it's a different mindset. I'm not there just to do my time and get on out the way. I'm there to focus, lock in, be different in a whole place that everybody's just gonna be full of hate and sorrow. I mean, don't get me wrong, I ain't soft, but that's not who I'm gonna portray. You know what I mean? I'm just as loving and kind as I think I can be sometimes. I am a little abrasive, ain't that right, Chance? Oh, you gonna get out your phone or what? Oh, you're in the Bible. My bad. He's in the Bible. Oh, I can be abrasive, right? But it's only because, man, I know that we fall into these little habits and we're hard-headed. I get it. And the only thing that catches my attention, man, is somebody that it's got to prick your ear. What'd you say? Then that's when I know. Then you're ready for me to be gentle. Ish, you know. I got you, didn't I? Okay, then. I didn't even want to bring that up. But it's these things, man, and we always in a rush to get this, to get that, to find the woman, to this, to that way. I've come a long way, but I got a long way to go. And the last thing I want is for all this time that I've been waiting is to be in a position to have it back before I can have it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? If I'm not ready for it, I don't want it yet, because I've wasted enough time. I'm not even worried about that anymore. It's about this day going forward. I look back occasionally just to remind myself of what one decision can really do, and I don't like seeing brothers as being examples, but if you've been around here long enough, not everybody makes it. And it's just a reminder that, I mean, it's a constant daily battle, man. It's a fight. You're not going to do it on your own. The only thing you're going to do on your own is make things worse. And God's given me a lot, man. He really has. And most of all, I believe is peace about a lot of situations. The tears that come out with worship, man, is just so grateful to come to a place that I do deserve the love that He gave me. He did love me enough to die for me. And once you can walk in that, start owning that, it's all about thanks now. Like I don't hardly pray for anything anymore. Just get me through today. Thank you for waking me up, get me through today. I'll be having a rough day. I'm just like, Lord, help me, please. Just help me. It's just a constant little conversation, and it's really become about helping my brothers, man, and anybody that's in need. And the best ability sometimes can be availability, and I really try to be there as much as I can. And I really got humbled about my problems. And I talked to him about it. He would want it to be said, and for there to be glory in anything that's bad. So Thomas Campbell, if you don't know him, he come out there to Wild at Heart. He's been at Chasing Freedom. I've probably known him about almost 2 years. He's been faithful. He's been putting in the work. He's been doing the right thing. And we talked right before the next day he was supposed to start his new job, move in with his wife, which they were still working on things, but his kids were there. And I was like, man, that's such a blessing. Everything you've been praying for started to unfold and come to life. The Lord had other plans. She had just got her learner's permit for a motorcycle license, and he explained what happened, but it went from the reconciliation of being back together and being in the same home to him losing his wife. And then I'm sure because he was going through so much, he sent me a picture of an email. The company he started working at did the background check, and they had to immediately terminate him. And I'm like, man. And then the icing on the cake, he said he's hardly been in his kid's life. And as soon as he comes back into their life, their mom's gone forever. My problems ain't nothing. I know we're all going through something. My advice, and I don't even know what time it is, but this message was really on my heart about God's timing, man. That don't get anxious, don't get antsy. Just listen to wise counsel, stay in the Word. If you don't know what else to do, man, just pray and pray and pray. Find you a brother that you can rely on and that's solid as you want, that you can talk to about anything, and it doesn't have to go any further than that. Because I tell you what, if it wasn't for some people's ears that I'd be burning up, I don't know what I'd do with myself except fall on my face. if this, I'll let the elders judge it, but I really want to start speaking here more. I don't want. I don't. I mean, I'll do testimonies. That's fine. But I think it's a way to increase my faith and my knowledge, and another way to set aside deliberate time to be here. So that'll be between them two back there. But I love y'all.